this is Jackie Chin. You guys know who I am, and of course this is Zombiepalooza Radio Live, and we are here at GamerHaven with Robert
Gatewood.
Gatewood, yes, absolutely. You should know what your name is, eh?
All
right, so we're here and we're going to be talking to a number of different people from this particular area. We're on East 185th.
Absolutely.
And in Cleveland, Ohio. It's kind of like on the outskirts of Cleveland. Kind of sounds like a movie.
I'm good with that.
Let me think about that. All right, so Zombiepalooza Radio is going to be known from here on out as ZPR Live because we're going to be going to multiple locations. And like I said, this is Robert Gatewood, and we are here at GamerHaven, and there are going to be multiple things that he is going to be talking about within this particular establishment. There's like 3 different businesses, and there's a lot of people that are coming from community locally where you're helping, and I think that in itself is amazing. We need more people that are like that. And so let's hear what your story is.
My story, huh?
Yeah.
Hi everybody. I got started in this place, and it was initially launched as GamerHaven in 2017. I had this idea for a long time, and it's an evidence point on Urban Dictionary for anybody that's familiar with it. If you Google search Urban Dictionary GamerHaven, you'll see I put it in there, I think in 2006.
2006, this
Yeah.
2019. So this idea has been going on for
a long time.
It's
and
been a
it
seed
started
for a
as
long
one
time.
thing, but we developed that thing's still there, but we developed into something that I thought could help a lot more people. We kind of got off the ground because the thing that inspired me most
let's see.
was, it's a very grainy picture because it was the olden days of video gaming and there was less internet. LAN parties, Halo 2, Madden 2003.
Look at these screens.
Look at those
Look
CRTs.
at that.
That's the good old days. There's a GameCube in there,
Wow.
so a lot of stuff's happening. Back then, this was how gamers got together, and I always wanted that to be more
Where is
permanent.
this at?
This is just an example picture. I believe it was in a virtual cafe.
Oh
And
yeah.
we just
Okay.
let the kids come in. If you got your own TV systems, come on in, do all-night game session. And I love the idea of it being a dedicated place for video game play. By itself, it wasn't a great business model, and because online gaming happened, it stopped being as useful an idea. But this is what started it.
People still get together and do this though.
Especially in my age group, older than like 27 to 35-year-olds still play this way. But even though younger kids kind of want to play in the same space together, that once the arcades left, this became how we did it. But it inspired me to make a space for that because first we didn't have a lot, but next I thought we could use a space like this to do more stuff together as a neighborhood or as a community.
So how did you culminate the idea of finding a location and talking to people about a startup business?
That's a very interesting question. Well, that's actually a great segue. Jumped again. This is,
It's like, let's go
no,
right
really,
now.
no. So this was a group picture at Collinwood High School. I'm from this area. I've lived over here for
Shout
25
out.
years. Love everybody in
Yeah.
Collinwood. It's my thing. So this was going to be my first shot if I ever took one. It was going to be in this neighborhood somehow. This picture is at Collinwood High School. I was volunteering for a gaming group that we made when I was in school. Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop RPGs, trading card games, Magic the Gathering. Nerdiest of nerd stuff people
That's
wouldn't
awesome.
expect in an inner city school.
That's why not? Give us a little bit about
It's
that.
just for whatever reason people think that we're not as
Look
geeky. Sorry guys, I'm
That's
a little shy.
That's okay.
We're geeky, but it's not something we have as a public face. But we literally had, I think, the most.
You guys play
students.
chess. You guys play role-playing games, and some of these
We
games
do all kinds of nerd
are
stuff.
very, very intricate. You
Yeah.
have to form your own characters. You have to give them a
Carry them.
backstory.
Yep.
You
Yep.
got to make it so that it actually fits within that context. Because if it doesn't, the head guy, I think it's a DM or something, is going to look at you and go,
That's not, yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, we did all of that stuff. And so I just didn't, my teacher, Nick Del Ciapo, the science teacher, very much supported that kind of thinking because it was creative. it let kids get out of the box in terms of becoming a character, but we also wrote games back then, writing pen and paper games, rules with dice and different math stuff. So it was a math and science thing as much as it was a fun thing. But you asked why.
Yeah.
This is why. This type of thing proved it could happen here for me. So I was like, if I make a business, it has to be in Collinwood. I tried to get something on another main strip here. It's called Waterloo. Waterloo is jumping for traditional arts. My timing didn't work out. Like I said, I've been trying to make GamerHaven since 2006. Back then, it would have been, because internet games hadn't happened yet, it would have been a land place, and people would have eaten chicken wings, and that was not going to make enough money to survive.
Okay.
So I waited, went to school at Cleveland State, got a job, got an opportunity with our local community development corporation. It paid enough for me to leave my full-time job, and I took a shot starting what became GamerHaven. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, let's see how amazing this thing actually is growing into.
Yeah, so that's a great segue. So yeah, like I said, launched as GamerHaven for gamers. Small business folks started using us a lot, which is really interesting. Like,
I heard some people coming in and they were using like the copy machine, and you're like, hey, there's a need for that. Fill the need for right.
Creativity happens everywhere. Video games are the pinnacle of creativity. If you can make a game, you can make everything.
Yes.
So when they started coming in and printing documents, and like, okay, well, how can I take care of businesses and gamers? So I expanded GamerHaven to be a larger work share space. And some people I respect a lot, mentors of mine, said, Robert, you have to put your name on it, because if you put your name on it, people who know you know what you're about. And people who don't, it's just a general name.
So what did it feel like for you to put your name on it?
Scary. For the same reason I have trouble looking over there at those folks.
Hell yeah.
I got used to it about 2 days before I launched it. And it
you're
does
like,
fit.
you know, if you're going to do it, you got to go all into it. You can't just
all the
be
chips
like,
pushed to
you
the
know,
bottom.
right. You're all in. I got like chills from it. All right, let's go to the next.
So yeah, so we went from Full Spectrum GamerHaven. Full Spectrum is the name of the membership program that GamerHaven's under, to the Gatewood Workshare, because we share space with two other small businesses. GamerHaven does gaming and education. My creative company, Master Collective, does graphic design, apparel, and all kind of stuff. And then the Allen Wine Bar is an internal, full-service bar for general use, but also for all of the events that you can see. There are a variety of events.
Talk about the different kinds of events.
Yeah, I love this picture because this was a Valentine's Day spa day for survivors of domestic violence.
That's awesome.
I think it was about 70 or 80 people. We red carpet entry, gave them free food. They got makeup.
Back to house.
You know, and then
that's awesome.
This is Creative Mornings. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It's like a TED Talk local thing for creative.
Oh my goodness. All right, so y'all, if you're in business, if you need some inspiration, if you need something to be able to give you that extra push, watch TED Talks. And if this is like TED Talks, then you want to be glued into this. When does this kind of thing happen?
So we were fortunate. They land different spots in the city once a month in the morning. That's why it's Creative Morning. So it's for like creative industry folk. The guy who does them in Cleveland, Thomas Fox, heard that I was launching a business a year before I opened, reached out. He said, hey, if you're open in April of 2017, or 2018 that was, we plan on doing, and Creative Mornings is a global talk series, so that is happening all over the world.
So something that we all need to be a part of.
So there's probably something close to everybody that's watching this, if it's not just in Cleveland. So that month's focus was on games. The theme was games. So he was like, I need to be there.
Yeah.
There was 120 people that came out. A guy named Jared Huntley, who's a local video game developer.
And what I love is that they are all glued into what is going on.
It was surreal. That's the first time and only time since that's our space has. Literally everyone was captivated with the stage. So, but yeah, like Jared Huntley came. He's a game developer for Microsoft. Works at Adobe. He spoke about.
So part of what is going on here is that in one of the posts that I put on my Facebook page, this is a space for movers and shakers. This is not a space for people who just want to talk about it. This is a space for people to come in and say, this is what I do, this is where I'm at, and I want to move forward.
That's very much
what can you do to help me do that?
Yeah.
All right, so what's the next?
If I remember right, it was a game-themed 11-year-old birthday party.
This is cool. You see the kids being active and
so you can see it's the
pull
same
it in.
stage from here and here, and it's just off here. So the space changes a lot. All these kids were around the cake because the woman did a PlayStation thing. I mean, it's cake.
It's cake. It is cake.
So yeah, I think it was like 40 or 50 kids. They got to play their Fortnite and Dance Central and Just Dance, and it was a blast. It was really cool.
Because you have they have a banging sound system. Trust me, that's part of the reason why we're doing some of this up here and not downstairs. But let's get into that last.
And then the
space.
last one, like, look at how different that is. That's why I put these two next to each other. This is.
This looks like more like a conference going on here, and like a.
It was a not tribunal. It was a group of CEOs and top head people that all had to do with this company called Community Enterprise Partners. They do a lot of CDC funding work and work with nonprofit.
And how did they find out about you?
Great segue. In addition to doing all of this stuff, I am involved in my neighborhood on a community development level. I'm a board member, of Greater Collinwood Development Corporation.
Water back there.
I do have
You're
some
allowed
water.
to have some of that.
And I have.
It's all right. Yeah. I have some water too. Water break. Hydrate.
Please hydrate. Greater Collinwood Development Corporation, formerly Collinwood Nottingham Villages, is our area's CDC. CDCs typically help homeowners, residents, business owners with like beautification projects, stuff to help the seniors and youth, stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit that can give out money and receive grant money. They are very much jacked into the Cleveland nonprofit world. So I can't remember. It would have been one of the chief funders that had came to another event like this here. Good. And I'm 99% sure it was Linda W. Last name will remain off the board. But she was like, hey, it's a really cool space. It doesn't cost a lot.
Yeah.
It's in the neighborhood.
Right?
Use us. And you don't see it, but we're across the street from a newly renovated Arts and Media Center, the LaSalle Theater. So they likely were talking about that stuff. That's probably how I got it.
All right, so let's go into the next
stuff. This is an image of, I teach classes at Campus International School at Cleveland State University. It's a high school.
Okay.
They brought me in because of the game stuff, and they liked how I do it more than the development. The class is called Games, Culture, and Development. So I spend 2/3 of the time talking about why games are important, what way games...
Why are games important? I mean, this is your mainstay. This is what you seeded into. But give me like a few minutes of why games are important, especially to the youth, and how it turns into something that they can develop in other ways to help themselves.
Sure.
And others.
I think video games are the most important form of entertainment or art that humans have made yet, mainly because it's interactive and the player is creating the story or experience themselves. So it's not so much what the artist or creators made, but you're experiencing it makes it real. So on that level alone, it's the most important way we communicate with ourselves. We learn stories and do stuff through film, but we're watching it. With games, you're doing it. And
it's tactile. You're getting in there, and it's not necessarily like old school where you're playing with Play-Doh and stuff like that and building blocks, but it's the new tactile.
Being able to do things that are not realistic expands your mind.
Yes.
So I grew up playing.
And that's science.
It very much is like
science.
It's why people are scared of VR, but VR offers a lot of opportunities. I'm not there yet.
Do you know that when you watch a movie or you play a game, that your brain up in here really does not know that experience is not real? That's part of the reason why when people have these VR glasses on and they're going and they're doing their thing and then they see something coming at and their reaction is genuine.
Yeah,
your hindbrain is going,
that's real.
Danger!
That's real.
Right, yes.
So if it's that impactful to a person, that to me alone means, okay, we got to figure out what these things are doing to us as a society.
Yes.
And when we're making them, are we making them equitably and with ethics, because
Yes.
I can take advantage of that
Oh,
and
yes.
scare you and it can harm people, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So games are important because of that, but they're also important because they build community. It's a way to have people, you can become more empathetic through games than you can by watching a movie about a person being robbed.
You're
You'll
also
know it
working
better.
with other people. It's a social
Inherently,
event.
yes, inherently team-based. You
Now-
can make games alone, but you really don't.
What do you say to people who say, oh, they just got their face in a game board
Mhm.
and they're not interacting with anybody that is around them?
I love that question because.
So what do you tell them?
Well, I would imagine your viewers are much more highly aware than that, so it's not any of you. But if someone said that, I'd ask, how much interaction did you get when you were reading the newspaper? Yeah, you guys are doing a lot of talking when you all were faces in the newspaper,
Yeah,
right?
we did have faces in the newspaper.
Like,
Some of us still do.
It's a generational thing more than anything.
Okay, so it's like maybe like a mindset of
You
We're
think
gonna-
it's separating, but games now, especially now, are all forcing us to link. Everything's online. We're talking to people all of the time. So if you're saying, oh, you're not doing anything, you're not talking to anybody. Actually, we're talking more to people than you ever did as a child.
right.
So that's gone now. Oh, well, it's not good for your brain. Actually, because I game, I think faster than you.
That's
All
another
kinds of
thing.
layers.
There are people that have brain damage, and science and doctors are catching into the fact that the ability for some of these people to be able to interact with a game helps the I think it's the right brain, helps the
Okay.
right brain process. The left brain is doing the creative, la, 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 whatever the game is, but the right brain has got to pay attention because they need to find out if there's something that they need to react to or don't react to, and
And you don't get that from a book. As much as I
Right.
love
You
literature,
don't
because we
get that
have
from a
we have a literacy part of it, because kids not being able to read well is inhibiting their ability to get jobs. Well, if you play Final Fantasy a lot, you're going to read.
you have to read.
It's going to make you. So even if but the story's captivating and you're doing stuff.
And
in
you
between.
need to know, if you are that glued into that game, then you're going to need to know what these people are saying to each other, because if you don't, you could end up just being
And then the game's not
whatever
fun,
happened.
and
Then
nobody
it's-
wants
right.
that.
And
So
right. So let's go to the next.
did I tap it? Magic. Is that 1-4? It was. So this is a picture of her Money M and her brother Tommy and their babysitter Katie. I love this shot because all 5 of these people are playing 5 different games, and they're all within 10 feet of each other.
So if they want to say, hey, look at something around
And
there.
that happened a lot. Like, he doesn't know them, and none of them know him. But after about 20 minutes, they all were friends. Like, he's playing Fortnite. If I remember right, he was playing
All
a
right,
racing
so
game.
let me ask you God, I got 6 kids, and I'm gonna say to you, you're gonna tell me that all these people actually interacted with each other, because I see headphones here, and they're glued into whatever. How did that come about?
So let me see if I can remember well. Typically, I call him Slime Rancher Kid because that's the game Tommy plays most. She came here bringing him, I think, during summer break. And then he was raving about it to his older sister, who doesn't want to hang out with her younger brother. That's not a thing.
Because it ain't cool.
No. But after a while, she's like, okay, well, I'll come up one of those days. And she saw that we had Splatoon and Mario Kart. So he's playing Slime Rancher, she's playing Mario Kart. I forget what she was playing.
There she's another guy.
Yeah. And because of that, like, if Slime Rancher is loading, she'll hand him a controller, and now they're both playing Mario Kart really quick. So that's where that interaction happens. And he's playing a racing game, which isn't all that different from Mario Kart.
Right.
So he's doing F1 racing, actually, and she's doing Mario Kart, but they can talk about racing stuff now. So you're starting to see groups that you think don't have anything in common, and they have something in common that they've never known had they not been
That's
there together.
cool.
And it's a difficult thing, but Fortnite is popular across the board. So
Right.
them seeing him constantly winning, it's hard to win in that game. He gets at least 6 or 7 wins every time he comes.
You have to have a certain ability to be able to keep winning,
And he's very special at that. So they see that happen, and they'll hear the Victory Royale sound happened, and then
Yeah,
what
because
the heck,
all
how'd
the-
you win again? And
when the games are all going, you can hear all of the sounds, and everybody is. It's like the room reverberates with this, but it's really cool.
so yeah, that I didn't make this space thinking about this happening, but once I saw it, I'm like, this is where the magic
It
of
brings
GamerHaven happens.
everything together.
Yep.
And all right, so let's look at
Yeah,
the next
the
slide.
next thing is, a larger pan out of that Creative Mornings image. There were 120 people, all stadium seating style. Actually, this ties in another high school really well.
I can't believe you actually got that many people in there,
I
but
can't
the
either.
room goes pretty far back. 6
It-
minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Next.
All right.
It's we got these chairs. We don't have that many chairs here. We seat comfortably 50 to 60 people.
Okay.
But a friend from VASJ, Villa Angela St. Joseph, a school that way, north of 185th, heard about it. We'll donate the chairs. So they came and gave us the chairs for free.
That's cool. Let's move.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. And that's all. Then leave it here.
Yeah.
All right. And there's more. Lots more. But
Yeah.
we're going to be doing some more segments. And I think what we'll do is we'll break it down and we'll talk about each place.
Sure.
What is the biggest
I'll do this.
thing that has happened to you as far as, I guess, life, since this has gone from seed back in 2006
Yeah.
to we're heading into almost 2020. Wow. Whoa.
A lot. The biggest, it's hard because the biggest thing that has happened hasn't yet, but I know it will. Second weekend in April. I can't confirm it yet, but like being in contact with so many people, what I always thought was way above my head. Like I shouldn't have. Why am I at a lunch table with 4 Congress people or councilmen and talking about this stuff? Why is that
Because you
happening?
have something that they see people are glued into, and they finally are starting to come around to see how important this is.
I would imagine, but my gut says the most important thing probably was the first kids party that happened outside of my network. Like somebody off of the street walks in, this looks amazing. I want my kid to have his 5th birthday here. That's a huge deal. You only get one of those.
I know,
And you want to
right?
share that in my space.
And the
That's still
experience.
mind blowing to me.
People can have a lot of money, but that doesn't bring happiness. It doesn't bring
Yeah.
peace of mind.
Yeah.
But when you're sharing these experiences, especially things that are very, very emotionally intense, it brings joy, it brings happiness, it brings a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah. And people being willing to share that with me in a place I made. I just said those words and it's completely surreal. So that's probably the biggest thing. People are sharing their lives and important moments with me.
All right, so we're gonna put it here where I want you to tell people exactly where this place is, what the
Mhm.
name of it is, the
Uh-huh.
different kinds of sections that are in it,
Gotcha.
whatever the names are,
Mhm.
and you know what all of
Oh,
this,
yeah,
and then we're gonna wrap it
yeah. Perfect.
for this section.
Cool. Thanks everybody for listening. I'm Robert Gatewood. We are in the Gatewood Workshare, space that is shared between 3 principal businesses: Master Collective, Allen Wine Bar, Full Spectrum GamerHaven. Master Collective is a creative services company. We offer anything creative that can be made on a screen or on paper or on fabric, anything. Allen Wine Bar is a back-end service that turns our space into an inclusive, comfortable place to share moments with your family. And Full Spectrum GamerHaven is a company that cares about games culture and how it impacts society around it. And we are fortunate to share this space with a number of other businesses that rent from us, do services with us, and that's what we are. We are on East 185th Street in Cleveland, Ohio. Address is 818. If you Google us, you'll find us. Google any of these and it'll lead to all of them. So that's us.
And this is the first segment at GamerHaven. This is Jackie Chin, Zombie Palooza Radio,
ZPR.
ZPR Live,
Let's get
signing off.